the stone, okay? Because some of you in this room may already know some of this stuff, but some of you may not, okay? And so I'm going to try to get through it as quickly as possible so that you guys could ask any questions, and I can be available afterwards for some questions. But I just want you to get the most important one thing here, and that is fraud. All right? In the old days, it used to be a letter in the mail saying you won the lottery, send $20,000, send $5,000. It was mail fraud. Then it was telemarketing fraud with Nigerian schemes, and then you help a person out, and now it's cyber. It's the same thing. They've just moved fraud to cyber. Okay? They're very sophisticated, but what they're doing is very simple. If you can get anything out of it, remember fraud. If it looks different, stop, look, listen, and then do what I put out and do what the security people put out in your companies. So I'm going to talk about today the common cyber intrusion threat categories for financial institutions. PII, theft, business email compromises, ransomware, and available cyber resources. Biggest motivation in all of this is financial, okay? It's financial, and we'll talk a little bit about that. We also have intrusions with hacktism. You have cyber actors out there that are angry with the government. They try to take government systems over, city government systems over, or they try to steal information. And then we have foreign government actors, which is one of the biggest FBI concerns. And then intrusions motivated by terrorist ideology. Out of all of this, what do you think is the number one scare out of all of it?
Government.
No. Financial. It's the biggest problem. Sorry, didn't know if that spot. So I will say terrorists using the internet to communicate and coordinate. We're on the internet. We're monitoring. They do website defacements. Terrorists and foreign governments are into intrusions into critical infrastructures, trying to attack SCADA systems. And then the biggest thing that we worry about when it requires like a threat country or a government or terrorist is, can they get into our grid? Can they get into our nuclear power plants? Can they get into our water treatment plants? Okay? Or can they get into our financial institutions and completely devastate our financial institutions? So governments, when you're talking about government intrusions, you're talking about if you work for a government, you got the most protection. So if you're in Russia, China, North Korea, it's very hard to go after those actors because they have that cover. They have the money. They have the ability to attack, to do the attacks on computer systems. And the biggest thing about state-sponsored intrusions is that one breach, like OPM. Have you heard the OPM story? Okay, when OPM was attacked, it took all that data. All that data included my name, my date of birth, my social security number, all my friends, their telephone numbers, addresses, dates of births, my kids, my family. Everything that's in my background investigation was stolen. Now that multiply that times hundreds of thousands of people. That's a big win for our foreign government. So for people that are, I assume everybody here is in the financial industry or pay industry here, is that correct? This is what they're looking for. Access to bank accounts, credit cards, social security numbers, usernames, and passwords. And how they're getting in? Spoof emails. Everybody heard of a spoof email? Okay. Compromised websites, spoof emails from banks, and spoof emails from third-party services. And I'm going to go in a little bit more depth here as we get into this. The hard way is they compromise a company computer. So they get into your computer and they compromise it. That's really difficult. It's really difficult with the security systems that most companies have today, the firewalls. It's really difficult to be able to hack directly through those firewalls. There's so many secondary, so many triple, there's so many different systems out there that are protecting you right now that it's really difficult. But if they do, and they can, and they've done it in the past, they look for weaknesses. Or they'll launch a denial service attack. Anybody ever experienced one of those? That's where they just hit your website. They hit your website. They hit your website. Pretty soon, your Macy's, your Amazon, they're attacking your website with so much data that shuts your system down. And when it does, they look for weaknesses in that. And phase two, the hard way, is they use money mules. So these cyber actors will steal money, and then they'll send it to other people, and those people that they hire, just like anybody on the streets, they'll hire people, crews, organized crime, and those people will go to the ATM machines, withdraw money from the ATM machines, move that money to a different bank, make it overnight deposit, and then that money's gone. That's the hard way. That's the old-fashioned way for cyber. The easy way is they pretend to be me, Tom Jones, or they pretend to be a CEO, they pretend to be a CFO, they pretend to be somebody in your company that has authority to make financial transactions. How do they do that? So what they'll do is they'll spam, they'll go, and we'll talk about it here in a minute, but basically they will go and they'll look at your LinkedIn profile, all right? And I'll get on that slide here in a minute, where they'll look at your Facebook profile. They'll look at the profile of the company. They'll pull the stock data. They'll pull the financial data, the SEC data, and they'll get all the names of the officers in the company. And they do a lot of research. And how do they get it? They get it through email compromise. They get it through VEC or EAC email compromise. And just an example of the case, this is RBS World Pay. They lost $9 million in less than 12 hours. Less than 12 hours. Total victims 20,000. Pretty easy. It's pretty fast and it's pretty quick. So you're watching your email comes in, you're working really hard. You got a time crunch on you, and all of a sudden, bing, an email comes in, and you think it's work related, all right? It's a spoofed email, meaning it looks like it's from your company head. It looks like it's from somebody or a business partner, okay? It looks like it's legit. You click on the email. That's all you got to do now. You click on the email, and boom, malware is loaded, okay? Boom, they're in your systems, okay? They're in your systems, and then they don't necessarily do anything. They just load in your systems. And now they're on your email, and they've got complete access to your address books, okay? And then they're going through the company, and they're just finding out who's who, and they're loading information down, and all they're doing is gathering information, okay? They might load a keylogger, okay? And you'll open your email, you hit a link, and it loads a keylogger. Then pretty soon, now you got your username, your passwords, account information, dates of birth, and all they're doing is collecting data. They're not stealing anything yet, they're just collecting the data for something bigger to steal. If you get a related email like that, it comes from a company like Gmail. How often do you get a Gmail? I mean, you personally only probably get something from Gmail, but a company work related. It comes in on a Gmail or a foreign address. That's probably low budget tampering. But if it looks something weird, I would stop, not do anything with it, and I would contact the company IT staff. Because the innocent click can turn into something devastating. I'm not trying to scare you, but it's true. That's how they're operating. They're just sending these mass emails out, and it could be somebody that's in payroll. It could be somebody that's in capture, business capture, you name it, and they click on that email, and then the whole company is at risk. So business email compromise, that works on businesses. That's what the whole thing is. They're trying to get into your business. They're trying to get into it. They want to get into PayMaster. They want to own PayMaster, meaning they don't want to take anything in it. They want to compromise it. They want to gather all your clients, all the people that you do business with, okay? And they're slowly gathering information. So they could do it today, and 2 years from now is when they make the big move. Okay? They do their research, they do their homework. Email account compromise is on individuals, you at home. This is global statistics, 12 billion since 2013 to May 2018 with 78,000 victims. That's BEC global statistics. This is what they're doing. These are our 150 victim countries. Our primary bad guys have come out of China, Hong Kong, Turkey, United Kingdom, sometimes Mexico, Bulgaria. So, sorry, I had a question. So your victim is targeted, that's you, it's your CEO, it's your payroll VP, it's whoever it is, your HR coordinator. They hijack your account. And then they start stealing your PII data, what I talked about earlier. Usually, businesses that work with foreign suppliers or people that work globally, companies that work globally, are targeted first. That's not to say that American-based, US-based companies only aren't targeted, but usually when there's a foreign supplier, a foreign partner, that they like to go after those. And the reason why is because it's easier to mask, or it's easier to break into a foreign supplier's company instead of yours. So you're doing business with XYZ company in Malaysia, you're doing XYZ, anywhere in the world, and they attack that company, they get your information, then they attack your company, okay? And then that's when they start doing their fraudulent, they're using their fraud. So if you see some things like this, scenarios of attorney impersonators, phrases like code to admin expenses, W-2, PII, data theft, urgent wire transfer, that sometimes when you see those are kind of low budget, but still people open the email and they look at it and go, what is this? They go, what is this? And they want you, it's a natural tendency that you want to kind of investigate yourself to see if it's really legit. What I'm saying is, if when you get that impulse to do that, stop and don't do it. So real estate victims, this is another scam that they've been doing, is you, Tom Jones, go to buy a house and you want to use a closing company or an attorney to close, all right? And you're going to buy from another person. You go and you give your down payment, or you give your collateral, your money to the closing company. When you make an offer, here's your check, here's your money, they deposit the funds, and they're supposed to secure your funds. What you don't know is that that company, XYZ closing company, has been compromised. And so when you put your money in, they take that money from that company and you never get it back. So you're trying to go to make a deal, you're trying to close, you're closing on your home, your residence, and pretty soon the money that you've given them is gone. And that's, we're seeing a huge increase in that. It's easy money to capture. A lot of companies are less than 500 employees that they're targeting. I told you companies who export or work with companies overseas, and 54% of all data breaches are negligent employees. Employees that do not follow the rules, or they just get sleepy on the job, and they think, this isn't bad. And sometimes they get hit because they use company email for personal business. They use keyloggers, I said web monitoring apps, spam, malware. That's the method. So let me just go through an attack. So, as I said earlier, they look at your LinkedIn account, they look at your Facebook account, they look at your Instagram, they look at your company accounts, they look at your websites, and they collect their open source data. I guarantee you, everybody in this room, that I could take your name, and I could find out so much information about you on the internet. Possibly find a picture of you on the internet, okay? All right, you Google me, you're gonna see Fred Flintstone, you'll see me anywhere. But they take their time, they're really good. If the bad guys really wanted to do something good for humanity, our world would be a great place. But they don't, they're the open source. I guarantee you that if somebody was really good at cyber and cyber research, some of the people that we have in the bureau, the analysts that we can find your email on the internet, okay? And that's not PII, but we can find your email. And that's what they're doing. Lookalike a domain name, fake cloud drive requests. They're trying to get the credentials and the account information of your CEO, your CFO, all the important players. Because what did I say earlier? They're trying to get somebody in authority that can say, hey, move $450,000 to this account today. All right? And if somebody in authority does that, what do? Boss says move $450,000. What do? You move the money, right? I'm knowing that it wasn't your boss, it was a spoof. It was a spoof request. Some of the top BDC emails: urgent, important, payment, attention, outstanding payment. And I'm talking, this is coming in from companies that you're doing business with. Not necessarily within your own company, but from outside companies. Harvesting. This is a good one. So what they do is they take your information, they get your information, they keylog your login and your login and your password. So how many people have a separate login and password for every app that they use and every website on the internet? Okay. All right. So I'm just telling you right now, they get that one login and password with your keylogger, okay, with that keylogger. Then what do? They go and they hit every website, every financial institution site, everything on the internet, every domain that you can imagine, and they crash it until they find where they can get access. And they put a profile together on you. Now they know that you go to Bank of America or IBM Credit Union. They go, your Gmail account is this, your Facebook account is this, you name it, they've got it, they're in it, okay? And they've got this profile on you, and it's called harvesting. And they stuff those things until they get all the answers they need. So you're done, you're gone. And they may not act upon it. They need to sit and not do anything with it until they know it's the right opportunity. You might be an XYZ company and they don't have enough information on XYZ company. That sits in a holding pattern. Because how many people here change their passwords frequently? Personal passwords. Okay, so they might sit on a year, 2 years, check it to see if it works, okay? And then extract. Full access, they have full access to your writing style, your business processes. So Tom Jones says, this is how Tom Jones writes, this is how, if you know my email, if I send an unclass email, if you email me on my unclass email, I always end with TJ. TJ, thanks, TJ. They know my style. I guarantee you they know my style. I guarantee that my government, FBI account, has been compromised. Okay? So I know that there's foreign actors out there that know a lot about me. So your writing style is important. Why is that important? Because you're going to write a, hey, Shirley, hey, Sue, can you make a transaction for me today? A last minute one came in. Thanks, Bob. Okay? Well, that looks legit to you, right? Looks legit to you, but it's not. It's completely spoofed. So then what they do is once they've got their compromise, so they've attacked your company, okay? And you're doing business with vendor X, okay? Vendor X is out there, and they know, they've been watching vendor X. What they do is they may all of a sudden put in a email rule that all emails from vendor X will go to the junk file of your email account, okay? So you'll never see it. It's going to your junk. It's automatically going into your junk file. And then they're operating out of your junk file, talking to vendor X, okay, out of your junk file, and you don't even know that they're talking to them. And then you haven't heard from vendor X for about 3 months, and you're going, what the heck? And so you call vendor X up and go, wait a minute, what happened? You know, we're doing business and all that. Well, we sent you the money. What money? Okay? 3 months later, that money is gone because they've been doing business with your name on it. out of your junk email account. Happens all the time. They send fake wiring instructions, and then you email it. When I was in Turkey, Istanbul, Turkey, from 2015 to 2017, my biggest cyber problem was running to the banks, trying to stop American money that was stolen from American businesses, because nowadays we have some really quick ways of determining whether we're getting better at detecting, and you have about 48 hours, and after 48 hours that money's gone. And so that money gets wired, it's wired to a Turkish bank. I'm there, I get a phone call from the United States and they say, hey, can you stop the money? Well, initially I couldn't because I didn't have the relationships with the banks, but it took me a while working with the Turkish National Police, and we were able to start stopping the money. Okay, if we can get involved, if the FBI can get involved, and you put the bank, does a bank wiring stop request, and they request that stop, and we got 48 hours, we might be able to save your money and get it back. But millions upon millions of dollars is lost. So they've laundered the money, your money is gone, you have no idea. Until the end of the month, when your auditors check your bank accounts and they look at your reports, or the vendor says, hey, where's our money? You said you wanted this shipment, you name it, it's long gone, okay? It's long gone. It could take a month, it could take 3 months, but you have no idea it's gone. $84 million a month is lost, globally 200 million. That's according to our statistics from the FBI. How am I doing on time? Doing okay? Okay, I'm good. Average BEC loss, what we did was we took those factors. It's $63,000 risk versus reward. Bank robbery, average loss is $3,000. Average ransomware is $2,400. So you don't see as much ransomware because those are more sophisticated personnel, and we'll talk about ransomware. Yes, ma'am.
The ransomware, does it make a difference to let the FBI know when a company is being hit by ransomware?
Yes, and in the end, we're going to tell you, please call us. Please call us. Besides calling state and police, locals, call us. Because we can come in, I'm jumping way ahead, but because you asked the question, we can come in and we have this thing called a CAT team. The FBI has a CAT team. And what you do is you call us. You don't wait for the locals to call us. You call us and say, hey, Tom, hey, whoever the relationship is, your West Palm office covers this area. We need your help. We believe we have a compromise. We send a couple cyber agents that come out. They look at it and go, yeah, you need the CAT team. CAT team comes in, they hook up their, if you allow them to do it, because some companies won't allow us to do it. We don't want you to have access. We'd rather have an outside party do it, okay? We'd rather have an outside party, or our own people do it, okay? Which is fine. But we bring our CAT team in. What our CAT team does is that we get on the web, we get on your servers, and all we do is we launch our own code, and we sit there and we monitor and we look for where the malware is, what type of malware it is, and then what we try to do is give you advice on how to disable it. That is if they haven't crashed your systems. If it's one of those where they're just stealing from it, we try to identify which servers are compromised, and then try to give you a solution to how to fix it.
So you actually find the root cause?
Sometimes. What we can do is we can identify the IP addresses, but usually when they're using Tor routers and the Onion, and they're going through different VPNs, it's a start. We can try to start the digital trail for you. So we need to find that digital trail, and we need to know what kind of program it is and how long it's been there. We could tell you, hey, this program possibly has been in your system for 6 months, a year. Depends. We'll have to check your backups. We'll go to your backup servers. We look at your backup servers. We go back and we see when we know. Then we can go back to your company, your board of directors, or whoever that's asking the big questions, and we're saying it happened in September 2015, the first sign, and you got hit in 2017. So they've been sitting there capturing your data for 2 years. And you can assume that everybody's information is compromised. Everybody. Yes, ma'am?
Is there a minimum dollar figure that you'll respond to?
No. reason why is because if it's a compute, well, if it's $5, you know what I mean? It's, you got to remember, it's not the dollar figure. Like in a regular financial loss case, yes, we have $1 million, we have 500,000, we have these dollar losses. But when it's a compromise of a computer system, it's a computer intrusion, we don't need the financial loss because the economic loss potential could be greater than $100,000. Yeah.
It's just because I'm conscious up until about 6 months ago, we would get some of those weird emails, and you could look at the email address and tell it wasn't an employee of the company asking us to buy gift cards and sending
Sure.
the numbers. But over the past month, we've been getting emails that look as though they're actual employee email addresses. Domain names are 100% correct, and we're being inundated with these emails asking for $750 of Bitcoin.
Because you're, and we'll talk about Bitcoin a little bit, because they already are gathering the information that your company is a target. So they're targeting you. It's plain and simple.
The minute we try and send a separate email to our IT department, Microsoft takes it back.
Yeah, I would guarantee you, I'm not 100% because there's no 100% in this life, so don't quote Tom Jones for that stuff, but they probably know who everybody is in your company already. Whoever's doing it. All right? Based on what you're telling me. I'm not trying to scare anybody, you know, and so there are companies out there that companies hire to go in and do system analysis, look and see if there's keyloggers loaded, okay? Whether they're loaded on individual computers or they're on the whole system, okay? I'm not going to give you a recommendation because we're not allowed to in the Bureau, but if you're being attacked like that right now, you can guarantee that they're probably have been, they want everything they know about you, because eventually somebody may have already downloaded a malware. And it doesn't have to be a takeover. It's basically, they're sleeping there, watching, and they're gathering data. And then they'll strike when there's an opportunity, okay? But there are companies out there that come in and do it. It's expensive. It's expensive. Ubiquity got stung for $46 million and an email spoof. There's just different companies out there. A Belgian bank got hit. These are just major BDC victims. And I can guarantee you it wasn't like an overnight thing. And these people are good. They'll sit there, they'll plan, they'll operate, and do exactly, I don't know what your name is, but they'll do exactly what you're talking about. And then they strike. Fake invoices. Have you guys seen fake invoices? Yes. You have? So basic hygiene, we call it cyber hygiene. It's two-factor email authentication, okay? I'm sure your company has it. Out-of-band communication. Does anybody know what out-of-band communication is? Anybody know what out-of-band communication is?
No, what is it?
So let's say your system gets crashed. Let's say you're compromised and you're crashed, okay? Are your phones on VoIP, okay? Because they can listen to your phone calls, all right? They can listen to your phone calls. Or you do start doing something, you go panic. Hey, I think I got something, and you start emailing everybody in the company that I found something on my email. This is bad, okay? They're watching it, okay? They may not have crashed your system, but they know that now you're aware of something is wrong, and then they can adjust. Out-of-band communication is really important because companies need to think about what other things do we have in place in the event the computer systems go down. Do we have a backup system that's completely segregated from the original? Do we have a different form of communication when a malware attack occurs and they shoot our system down and we cannot communicate, we can't do anything? Do we have a different way of communicating with our clients, with our customers? Okay, out-of-band communication. Avoid free web-based email accounts. So if you're on your company computer, the reason why companies say, hey, don't use it for personal use, is because a lot of times people go, oh, that sounds like a really cool thing, and then they click on it, and then boom, now you're compromised. Or you sign up, hey, I gotta check my personal Gmail account. So you sign up, you get on there, you sign up, or sign up for a website because you see some type of advertisement. They got these really cool things out there on the internet now where men can buy a box that comes every month, women can buy a box that has all these kind of cool clothes, or men have a tomahawk, and you know, so you sign up, they watch what you do, they watch your logins. Again, avoid these free whip, especially on your work account. Be suspicious, and then limit digital exhaust. Does anyone know what digital exhaust is? What is digital exhaust? What's his name that was it Kyle? Who's the kid that was Rick and I were talking about something earlier, and he wasn't saying digital exhaust, but he was basically talking about digital exhaust. So how many people here have an iPhone? Samsung. Okay, those are probably the two primary phones people carry. How many people use Facebook? So when you're looking on the internet and you're looking at that cool piece of clothing, and then all of a sudden you log off and Facebook shows an advertisement of the company you just looked at. What is that? It's tagging, it's digital exhaust, okay? It's called digital exhaust. All right, I'm saying this not so much on the company side, but on the personal side. Everywhere you go, you have these caches, they collect, okay? You're gonna roll out a new web app, okay? They collect data on you. And what I mean by limiting digital exhaust, if you've been compromised, if you've been hacked, computers have been hacked, I guarantee you, you need to change all your passwords, delete your cache files, okay? If you have to get a new computer, but limit your digital exhaust, meaning, and I know it's impossible nowadays, but with the iPhone now, they tell you with the new iOS, and I'm not trying to advocate for iPhone because I'm not allowed to, but I'll tell you, this app is monitoring you full time. Do you want them to continue to monitor, always allow, or only when you're using the app, okay? Think about that, because if there's something that you're looking at on the company computer, like, oh, you know, our company needs something, okay? That's giving a digital trail for the bad guys. So, if you're a victim, call your bank. Initiate a recall payment immediately. You know that you just sent $30,000, stop payment. Stop that wire transfer, okay? Change your vital passwords, check for new email rules. Why? Because we talked about junk mail, all right? Report to local law enforcement. Make a report at ic3.gov because we track it worldwide. Because what you are calling in today to our ic3.gov account, some other company may be experiencing it at the same time. And never make a payment change. Somebody comes in, I was talking earlier, somebody comes in and says, hey, we got a new account, and we have a new account, and we want to wire the money to this. You better verify. Verbally, not via email, verbally, with somebody that you know, okay? So you get the request, change the account number, we need you to send new wiring transfer information. Don't do it. Call, look, listen, and try to verify, okay? So now we'll move on to ransomware. I've got time, it's only 10:30. When am I done? Good? Ransomware, this is kind of cool. So, you've got, right here in Florida, okay? City agrees to pay hackers $600,000, okay? Lake City, Florida, pays ransomware. Key Biscayne gets hit, okay? 460 to 480, 42 Bitcoin, okay? These guys are getting good, and gals, they're getting good. Because they're not using banks, they're using Bitcoin now. All right? Bitcoin is hard to trace. And if you're an actor in China, Russia, Iran, North Korea, and you just got $400,000 delivered to you in Bitcoin, it's basically impossible for us to get it and get it back. And they're paying it because the cities or the companies, it would cost so much money to replace their whole entire systems. Because everything shuts down. Your VoIP, your computer access, your email, your ways of communication, completely gone. It's basically infected just like what I talked about earlier with BEC. That's basically the best way to get in. Not the old school where they break through your firewall. They get in using your employees, and then they start making demands. Now they're pretty good at this. Riot ransomware is one of the biggest ones that we're seeing right now in the US. We're seeing a lot of others. Don't ask me what the other names of them are because they change frequently. It's just like the new phones, Samsungs and iPhones, they change all the time. These malwares occur a lot, but this is what we're seeing. They have demands up to $5 million, but they're really good. So they shut your system down. So your company gets shut down by a ransomware attack. Your VoIP, your email, all forms of communication within the company is shut down. And they put up this little, let me see if it's here. Well, that's basically what happens to it. Is they install, it contacts your server, they encrypt your malware so that you can't get access to it, then they extort you. And the extortion is pretty good. What they do is you'll see something like this that comes up. And they basically lay out directions on how to fix it. You pay us and we'll fix it. And they have a customer service center. And in some situations, they're very polite and professional. And you call them. You call them. And you don't know where you're calling, but you're calling on some digital phone somewhere in the world. And you start talking to them, and they say, yeah, just do this, and we'll give you the encryption key, and you can undo it. And you don't know how to use Bitcoin? Let me teach you how to open up a Bitcoin account. And they'll give you a class. And they will teach you how to open up a Bitcoin account. And then they'll teach you how to transfer money from a bank to a Bitcoin account and buy Bitcoin. And then they'll tell you how to do it. And they walk you through the process. It's a full-scale customer service thing. You get your car clean. Well, I am not joking. I'm telling you, they're very polite because they know you, they own you. They own you, and they know they can get you. And this is what they're doing. This is a little bit of common traits about Bitcoin. I'm not going to get into Bitcoin because we can sit here and talk for hours about Bitcoin, and it's changing. And there's new regulation that Congress is trying to come out with, digital currency. But big thing for all companies: focus on training, keep your patches updated, antivirus, anti-malware updates, limit privileged account access. Meaning most people should not be able to have privileges that are administrative privileges on account. Limit them, because they find out who the administrators are, and then they get in that way. We recommend disable MS Office macro and use an Office viewer when you're looking at software on email. This is for your IT folks. It's just a recommendation. We're not going to tell you to do it or not do it, but it's a recommendation. And then software restriction policies. Somebody always in tech companies has this cool idea and they want to try something. We recommend it when it's especially involved in financial business and dealings in business world. We really limit not doing that. Do it on a separate system. If you want to try something new out, try it out on a separate system that's not integrated in your system until it's fully tested. Backups are critical. Okay? But when we tell you, sometimes it's good to have a broken backup, meaning you back up and then you separate your backup so it's not on the same server. Some people still keep the same server and have these backups that go every 6 months. Well, you might have to go back a couple years. And a couple years of data, a couple years of business contacts, a couple years is a lot to a company. It's probably worth millions. Okay? And so if you're a company operating on one server and you're backing up, and you don't have another backup system that's segregated, you could be in trouble. And you can back up today. Let's say there is a malware on your server right now, and it's sleeping right now, and you haven't turned it on. You can back up and then separate that server, because when they activate that malware, they're operating on your server, so it's backup. You can break into that backup, you can open that thing up, and you can be able to, if you have somebody that knows how to work malware, to shut it off, be able to go back to the back door, but it's all advanced stuff that I can't even talk about. Okay? Can't talk about it because I don't have the knowledge. So always back up. I would have independent servers for backups, not the same way. If you have that's just us. We never pay. We don't pay for hostages. We don't pay for. It sounds hard, but we don't advocate for paying. And you're being held hostage. And contact us. We do have a good CAT team. Our guys and gals are incredible. I've seen it work miracles. Are there any questions now? I'm at the end of my presentation, so this is a good question and answer. Yes, ma'am.
I have a question. Before we meeting all of these robocalls, they seem to know everything about you when they call. How do they get your information?
Just like this lady said here, is they'll get on your LinkedIn account, they'll find out who you are, they'll get the company account. If you're an SCC company, they're going to get all your people, they're going to get your name number, okay? They're going to call around, they're going to see your email with your contact information, they collect all that information, and then they sell it on the internet, and then the robocalls occur, okay? And it's a scam. It's a scam like anything else. Don't take it. My personal phone, I get them all the time. Sometimes if you have a company phone with VoIP, you can block certain countries. And even though it comes in as a 1-800 number, it might be coming out of Belgium, it might be coming out of Bulgaria. You never know. There's ways of blocking these foreign numbers, numbers that you're not. And what they're doing is they're spoofing. They're usually spoofing a U.S.-based number, but the primary number is still a foreign-based number. And there's ways to set that up with your telephone provider, but it's way above beyond me.
So for those, the recent Experian data breach, some of them, and I friends of mine both have these, where they know the last 4 digits of our social security number. Is that because they don't have?
Yeah, they probably got it. Or I'll give you an example. If you go to the doctor, right? Why do you give your social security number out? They ask for it. I mean, you fill out the form every time. If you go to a new doctor and they say, we need your social security number. No, you give them your last 4. You don't give your full social security number. Look, they got your date of birth, they have your credit card, they have your address and phone number. Okay? They ask for it, and a lot of companies will ask for it because they want to identify you with that social security number. I personally do not give out my social security number, I give out my last 4. Now that they've got my last 4, like what you're saying, probably through somebody else, through a different vendor, wherever you go to the doctor, usually it's medical, they'll get a lot of social security PII information from medical places. Any other questions? Come on. Ask a question. Anybody want to ask me about Lee Cooper? I mean, come on. Yes, ma'am.
Just a question. There was a couple other cities locally that also had the same situation with being hacked, the ransomware. And they were talking from a legal point and there was not a lot of knowledge or not a lot of information on the books about that. If you report it, is it better legal, even though there's not a lot, or if it comes straight from the individual company, FBI?
We always ask the person that's the victim to call us directly. And call us directly. Because we can get to it faster. All right? And we're always going to so if you're a victim and you have somebody call on your behalf, we're going to end up coming to you anyway. Because we're going to need to get in front of you and talk to you. So we always ask people to call us directly.
Right, because there's not a lot, there's, according to them, there wasn't a lot of information on the books legally anyways concerning that at this point. Is there any information for legal purposes concerning it compared to how to file, how to do anything? Is that something you would tell us, FBI, or?
We would tell you, you mean from a legal point? We're not going to give you.
Is it legal that you need to talk to? You said they'll come back to you.
No. If you represent a victim, you can call us on their behalf. You can call on behalf. If you're a company, you don't have to have the person that's operating a computer call us that the company is a victim, and you represent the company. They can call on behalf. We just need to get to whoever has the information. Usually it's your CISO, IT specialists, those people, and then whoever the managers are that identify the problem, so that we can isolate that problem. We try to go to the origin of where we believe it occurred, and then work our way out in, and then try to do our digital track. Any other questions? Yes, ma'am.
Do you have any particular type of training
just that I'm not allowed to.
Thank you.
So, sorry about that. Yes, sir.
You asked the question earlier, who has a distinct or unique password for every account? And I didn't see a single person raise their hand.
No, I didn't see anybody.
I know you can't recommend, I use one, and I'm not gonna say which one it is, both multi-factor authentication. Can you just briefly, 30-second, talk about password management?
Okay, so there are password managers out there. I'll tell you what I use personally, but I'm not, please don't, this is not from the FBI. It's Password Protect. It's a simple one. It's an easy company. There are so many VPNs out there. You can just Google VPNs. Most of them, I would always recommend if you're going to use a VPN or a Password Protect company, US based. Do not use foreign based. I'm not saying you can't use foreign based, but personally, I would use a US based company. Why is that? Does anybody know why? Because law enforcement has authority and legal process in the United States. So if something that gets breached, if your password it gets breached, if you have a civil suit with somebody and it's US based, you have the ability to get some type of relief. I'm not saying you're going to get relief, but you have some type of relief. There's tons of VPNs out there. I won't recommend them, but just make sure I would always use US based VPNs, me personally. That's just me personally. Because I know that the government, the law enforcement, can't have subpoena authority. They need to get at that information for you if you've been victimized.
How are you gonna know they're US based though when you're just dealing with a?
You can just get online and look, and you can see if they're a US based, where their headquarters are located. There's a lot of information on the internet where you can just look up their website, look at who their officers are, their company, where they're at. There's a lot of information out there.
But it blows me away when I get tech support and I can't understand the person that I'm talking to.
Correct.
You know?
I've had that frustration as well.
I know they're not in the United States. Okay.
Yeah, but like I had some slides up here, like Systematic. It's, there's security software programs out there now that you can buy at Best Buy that has a VPN with companies. Does that help answer, or did you want me to go further detail? VPN. Everybody know what VPN is? You can put it on your phone.
What's the same?
Virtual private network.
Yeah.
Basically, when you're in a coffee shop, okay, and you're at Starbucks or at whatever mom and pop coffee shop, and they have a router with, hey, you need Wi-Fi, log into our Wi-Fi, turn your VPN on. Why do you do that? Does anybody know why you use a VPN? Because it's encrypted. They can't. So they're not gonna see your IP address. Well, sophisticated people possibly, but sometimes those routers are compromised. Okay, if a compromised router, boom, they collect your IP address. Oh, that's an iPhone. They can distinguish your MAC address. And this is something really cool. So that's basically what a VPN is. But do you know that there's technology out there right now, private industry technology, that they make these little boxes about this big that can collect, you're driving your car and you drive by this box, okay? And it collects the type of Bluetooth signal that my Garmin watch has the MAC address on my Samsung and my iPhone, because I have Samsung for work, iPhone personal. It has my Wi-Fi signal. It has my Bluetooth signal for those phones, okay? Has my MAC address of my car, my digital signals that are coming out of my car. They have these boxes, commercially made, right? So then what happens is they collect that data, those boxes can collect data, they turn around, and then one day I'm driving in my personal car and not my bureau vehicle, okay? And they go, oh, wait a minute, that's Tom Jones, that's his digital trail, okay? And he's now driving in his Jeep Wrangler, okay? It's pretty scary right now, this ubiquitous software, this collection. Companies out there right now are collecting on you, and they have the capability to know what kind of watch you're wearing, your spending habits, your sleeping habits, how long you sleep. They know when you're having sleeping problems, okay? I'm telling you, it's that invasive. I'm not trying to spook you, but it's true. It's just consumer, like, and for us in the Bureau, it's going to be really difficult because there's no law out there. The oldest law out there right now for us, the most recent law is CALEA compliance. When cell phones were coming out, they formed this CALEA compliance law. That required telecommunications companies to cooperate with government so that we could get court order process. But right now, we are experiencing in the FBI technology that's so advanced that the courts don't even understand it. There's no law on the book. And we're asking a judge for authorization to collect data on this one issue. And the judge is going, there's no law in the book. So how do you equate that to anything? That's what we're facing as Americans right now. And facing it around the world. Tell me to spook you. Yes, ma'am.
Along that line, I heard a little news segment this morning about that if you have a company-issued phone or a laptop that you take home with you that's company-issued, that your employer is probably tracking data on you right down to the facial expression you're making when you're reading certain things they send because they want to know your mood and attitude about it. But then if somebody is also collecting information on your company, they are getting all of that too, right?
So, you just described what a lot of people think the FBI can do all the time. All right, we don't do that. Okay, but I'm going to do it. Because I've got 2 minutes left. How many people here think it's easy for me to wiretap your phone? There's some people here that think. Let me tell you how a wiretap works, really quick, because I've written them and I've done it. Okay, it takes me months to get a wiretap on your phone. Okay, one, I have to identify that you're a person, a bad guy, that is violating certain laws on the books, like Title 21, which is drug laws, or RICO, or racketeering, or wire fraud. To identify that, then I have to identify that your device that you're using is conducting criminal activity. Okay, I'm going to get to what you're just saying here in a second. Once I've done that, I have to go up on a called phone tolls. I have to issue a subpoena. I issue a subpoena and I get your toll routers for 90 days. For 90 days. And I look at your phone tolls and I see, are you, okay, now you're a bad guy and your phone is doing bad things, but with who? And I have to identify other bad guys. Then after that, I have to go up on a pen register where I monitor it live all the time for 30 days. And I go, are you still calling those people? Okay, then I have to identify whether those calls are criminal in nature. And if I do that, I get a court order for a Title III wire intercept. Okay, that's how hard it is for the government. And we do them every day in the United States, but it's really really protected. It's a protected thing. Okay, so just imagine now I want to get a wiretap on your text messaging. Okay, or on your Bluetooth conversations that you're having. Okay, or on your Apple iWatch. Okay, it's even more difficult because the technology is changing. So now back to your company. If the company gives you you don't have a right to privacy, okay? I'm not saying the company is, I'm not going to play a general counsel or a lawyer for a company, right? But yes, you are right. I am aware that companies can do that, and I am aware that companies have done that, okay? All right? So yes, they can turn on your laptop computer, and they can look at your face while you're on there typing, and they can look at your email, okay? They have the ability to do it. Do most companies do that and have the ability? I can tell you a lot of companies that I've worked with before don't do it, one, and second, don't have the ability. But I guarantee you, a company that's in the tech industry, they have the ability, okay? Because they're building those types of devices. They have the ability. Do they do it? Like I said, I've heard of it, but I can't comment on it. Does that help answer your question? Anything else? I'm 10:51. I'm 1 minute over my hour. That's it?
One more question, anybody can get started a few minutes late.
All right, thank you very much, everybody.